part of my morning routine is I go for an hour walk every morning. I do it because I get a lot of ideas. I do it because there's no distractions for me. And I download a lot of things. Whatever you like to do, have that time for yourself that you don't have distractions, whatever it is. Find your thing. What I see is my things change from time to time. Right now it's walking. It's been walking for, 6 months, but like before that, it was something else. Just if you notice you're getting stunted in it, like change it up. But every failure gives me so much awareness. Every single failure. But we don't want to go down to it. But whatever we prioritize is what we become. Whatever. And we want to remember that. So I wanted to start with this because I want to get you guys to really think. Okay? Last week we spoke a lot about image. And obviously I'm coming to you from the highest image I have right now. And now, a year ago it was different. 5 years ago, much different. And I want your image to keep improving. But we cannot improve our image if we're letting the outside dictate our identity. I will promise you that. I can tell you that. Like Dave, I'm thinking of you. Like you're in between commitment. That's where you're in between. Because the result of what you're used to is controlling you. You're afraid to let that go because you're going into the unknown. Now, from my experience, the universe may force you to let it go. Like that's my experience of it. Like I'm not projecting that on you. Just in my experience, you have to bet on yourself. Because our happiness is really connected to our standard. And when people drop their standard, you know what they do? They drop their beliefs and they go to things that make them unhappy. I see you guys much bigger than you see yourselves. That's a fact. That is an absolute fact. And I'm sure people see me bigger than I see myself. I know my mentor did, but the reason whenever I mentor somebody, whether it's a group or one-on-one, I always see them not as they ask me a question, but from their want. That's why I'm always asking you guys every week, what do you want? Because I'm not doing it from where you are, I'm doing it from where you want to be. And then eventually you hold that image for somebody, which I want you to hold for yourself, then you're going to walk into that image. And that's why, coming back to discipline, nothing happens without discipline. You can't achieve a goal without discipline. You can't improve attitude without discipline. You can't build a standard without discipline. You can't hold and be convicted to your vision without discipline. You can't communicate effectively without discipline. You know what doesn't take discipline? Taking a shortcut. Takes no discipline. Letting the outside control us, no discipline. These take no disciplines at all. Being authoritative with your voice and how you communicate. See, communication, two people can come up with the same idea. One can be expressed much differently by the confidence in their communication. It's a transfer of energy. And that's when you're auto-suggesting, I want you to be authoritative with yourself. Like, this is done. Like, it's not, I'm doing it. No, it is done. That creates faith. Nothing happens without faith. So how we speak will tell you your faith in yourself. So I want you to really pay close attention to what I'm saying, because these are really big ideas that I'm giving you. They're really big ideas. You have to build so much value right now till they get to know who you are. Now, you might not get results for 120 days. You may not have built that value yet. You may not have built the respect that the marketplace has for you yet because you haven't given enough value. Now, are you going to accept that or reject it? Are you willing to do that? See, that's what we've got to constantly ask ourselves when and I'm not saying that's going to happen for you. I'm just saying, if you give value from the very beginning, you're going to get rewarded from the very beginning. But if you're not doing the disciplines, if you're doing stuff to check a box, I promise you, there's nothing more wasteful than you're doing by checking a box. There's nothing more wasteful. And I want you guys to think about what I'm saying, because it is very important. It is extremely important. And I was working with a client this morning. He's a one-on-one client I work with, and he's way in his intellect, right? And I said, let me ask you a question. I said, a month ago, you were really emotionally involved with what you don't want. I said, tell me what triggered that. Because I'm working with him on getting emotionally involved with his disciplines, with what he wants. And I said, well, we know you can get emotionally involved because you just showed me a month ago, you told me exactly what's wrong. So you know you can do it. So now we've got to anchor that same feeling towards what you want. The best thing you can ask yourself, if you're going in the wrong direction, is what do I want? It will get you to flip. It will get you to flip right away. That question, what do I want? And that's where I want you guys to get to. But I don't want you just checking a box. That is a huge mistake. Like Geneva, I want you to stop asking yourself, how is it going to happen? It does not matter how it's going to happen. That is not a good question. That is a question coming from your analytical mind. I want that to stop. That question does not serve you. The question that better serves you is, I can't wait to see how it unfolds. You know, that's a much better question. So we want to start asking ourselves the right questions. And when I said review and reflect daily, that's an absolute game changer. I promise you it's a game changer. But we've got to ask ourselves, are we asking ourselves the correct questions? You know, are we asking ourselves the correct questions? You know what happens is you may say, my revenue's going up, but X is not happening and it's fine. No, that's not fine. That's not right. That goes to what you're settling for. And so what I want you to say is, this is my revenue goal, and this is where I'm going right now. You've got to give yourself that command. This is where I'm going. You don't settle for less. When you settle for less, what you're doing is you're making excuses. And if you're going to speak in existence what you don't want, then you're going to keep allowing what you don't want to be your standard. And I want you to really, really get this, okay? Your self-talk has to be in harmony with your desire, with your goal. It has to be in harmony. So we can go back to reviewing and say, let's look yesterday, okay? Let's just look at all of us. Let's look yesterday and let's ask ourselves, was my self-talk congruent with my goal? Was it congruent? And so what we want to do, and I'm telling you this, discipline is non-negotiable. So if you right now are sitting there like I was 18 years ago, had a terrible relationship with discipline, it is absolutely essential to create a world-class life. Without it, it's not going to happen.